Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to the podcast. This is the JRPG Report. My name is James Fisher. This is going to be episode 111 as of this recording. It is May the 6th of 2020. We don't have a giant podcast for you guys this week, but we do have some fun stories to pass along to you. Hope you are doing well this day. Like I said, not a huge podcast, but we do have some fun stuff to talk about. I want to just share a humorous real world into video game life story, as I am currently playing through Persona 5 Royal again, and I just got past the point in the story, moving on to the fourth palace, and you go through the whole rainy season, and where it rains pretty much every other day, and then it's hot and sticky. Well, it kind of feels like that's mirroring real life for me, as it seems like about every other day, we just get torrential downpours, at least here in this part of the country that I'm living in. So thought that was pretty funny. And also around the house, both me and my wife have been saying a whole lot of, hey, hey, mimicking, obviously, Morgana, who my daughter woke up at one point the other night and came in and saw. She's like, oh my gosh, it's a cute cat. And it transforms and all. Just, yeah, not a whole lot of that game that she can watch, but she did happen to see the cute talking cat and was instantly enthralled. Anyway, back to the podcast. The thing I want to kind of touch on the most, and we've certainly got the most information the past week about, and that is the upcoming Nintendo Switch JRPG, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. The hype is really beginning to swell on this one, myself included. I put down some hard-earned dollars for it. I was trying to get that limited edition, but I had a gift card from Best Buy, and they were already sold out. So I was like, well, looks like I'm getting the old standard edition. But not too much longer to go on this one, as it comes out May the 29th. If you're interested, you can head over to the JRPG Report YouTube page. I've got a bunch of videos over there talking about it, as well as sharing all the stories on Facebook. But the latest one to come out introduces the cast, the main cast of characters that you will be going on the adventure with. And my point of reference, of course, is I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and did not play this one years ago on either the Wii or the new 3DS. So it's been kind of interesting going back on and looking at this one and the differences in the game. In some ways, it's very, very different. And at least at first glance, from hearing the English voice actors for this one, they all appear to have kind of the British accent to them. And of course, I don't know how to say each one of their names just yet. Zoeir is my first and best attempt at it, with being Shulk. I believe it's Reen, Fiora, Dunbar, Sharla, Riki, and Melia. So you can check out that video. They will give you the proper introduction to each and every one of these characters. I'm greatly looking forward to spending some time with them. Also, we got some details about, they showed a pair of web commercials. Now, this is for the Japanese release of the game, and I think they were about 30 seconds long on each one, as well as an overview trailer. So here is the official overview of it from Nintendo.com. Join the fight between man and machine in the definitive edition of this critically acclaimed RPG. Discover the origins of Shulk as he and his companions clash against a seemingly unstoppable mechanical menace. Wield a future-seeing blade, chain together attacks, and carefully position your party members in strategic real-time combat as you journey across a massive world. During an attack from mechanical invaders known as the Mechion, Shulk discovers that he can tap into the full power of a mysterious blade known as the Monando. With the mighty Monando in hand, Shulk is out to defeat the Mechion once and for all. In addition to the Mechion, you run into wildlife that ranges from docile to deadly. Keep an eye on what attracts monsters' attention to avoid unwanted conflict, or try your hand at bringing down an ultra-powerful, unique monster. Upgrade your party as you progress through the adventure by selecting equipment, enhancing weapon skills, and using benefit-granting gems. Put your dependable companions to work by filling out the party gauge to trigger a chain attack. Attack enemies in quick succession. One of the key things that they have been harping on is this new additional scenario called Future Connected. That is something that will be accessible from the get-go, so if you are a player of the game previously, you can just jump right into this new scenario if you so choose. This Future Connected is said, this is the quote from an untold story that connects to the future. It includes an additional scenario that reveals Milia's after story, a new battle system that utilizes Nopon reinforcements, and a new maps will also appear. So this is not just for, players like myself who didn't get a chance to get a hold of the game previously. It is for old players as well. There's something completely brand new for you. They even detailed it further in a later release. So this is the extra story and the Future Connected. They say 1 year has passed since the final battle. The world is at peace. Each race has joined hands and restoration was underway. In the midst of all that, Shulk suggests to Milia that they search for the imperial capital, Alchemoth, which had gone missing. The two board the airship's junks with their sights set on the imperial capital, but the ship is suddenly attacked by a mysterious bombardment. The junks crash lands in a place called the Bionis' Shoulder. In this new world is a further expanded world, setting on this new adventure on Bionis' Shoulder, which you never visit in the main story. It is on the left shoulder of Bionis, a suspended mass made of floating minerals. There's also new characters. The Nopon Kino and Nin will become your companions on Bionis' Shoulder. Although young, their strength in battle is fully matured. Kino is looking for his father and aims to become a hero. He is also a bit shy. And Nin is a dependable Nopon who looks after Kino like a mother. While she is cute on the outside, she is quite the power type in battle. So it sounds like there's a whole lot in store for us. I don't want to read too much more, as there is some looks like there could be some special spoilers for you guys, so I won't go into that too much. But yeah, I'm greatly looking forward to this one. I know there's more than a few of you guys who are as well. I kind of put on the last video I did on YouTube if you were going to be getting this game as well, and if you were looking forward to it. There's more than a couple that responded very enthusiastic. Yes, it certainly, as like I said, huge fan of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm greatly looking forward to getting back into that world once again. That was kind of the big story we have. I'm sure we'll have some more on Xenoblade Chronicles as we get closer to that release date. I kind of mentioned this one before. I was anticipating we might get a slight delay because of all the madness going on in the world, but we're this close and there's been no word on a delay, so I do not anticipate that to be the case. May 29th will hold up as the release date for that one. We mentioned last week a game that did not escape the wrath of delay, Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris. There is a new video for it that shows the Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that EUGEO sub-episode gameplay. I shared this as well, so if you want to check that out, you can do that. This is the first in the series of character sub-episode gameplay videos. So I'm sure we'll get a few more of those before its eventual release, July 9th in Japan, and the next day for the rest of the world. But there was also some news, and this is from over on DualShockers, and I guess they did a live stream with the producer, Yosuke Futama. He answered questions from fans on Steam and most notably talked about a perhaps Switch port. This was back on May the 1st that he did this. Not interview, but certainly answered some questions from some fans. So first off, he said, how long does it, they asked how long does it take? And he said, it's difficult to answer that question, but it takes around 50 to 60 hours if you play it normally, as in doing side quests along the way. He added it'll take you a little bit longer if you do everything, but you could also rush through it in about 30 hours. So that obviously depends on the way you play games. If you are a side quester, like myself and Jordan, we tend to a little bit longer on our gameplays. Some people just want to rush right through it. Although, I've never quite understood the rush through on JRPGs as much, because a lot of times you need to put that grind in. You got to put those hours in if you really want to do well and not die quite often. He said that the game is packed with optional quests and bosses, and that developing studio Aquaria has put a lot of effort into the optional content, so he hopes players will try it out. About 20 minutes into the interview, he was asked if it could get ported to Switch, and here's his quote. He explained, "I can't tell you whether or not we will do it or not, whether it's possible or not." He said you'll just have to wait and see, and that they will announce it at a future time if, in fact, is going to happen. As of right now, that's just going to be available for PS4, Xbox One, and Steam. He said he can only give half answers like this to avoid players getting disappointed or giving up false hopes. He said that he was also asked about a Switch port for Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment, and he said that they did think about it, but he said game development costs a lot, and including into one more console would be even more. So yeah, that it wasn't a Switch possible for money reasons as of now. I would probably say that's probably what's going to happen with this game as well. He did bring up that it should not be delayed again. The game's current development plan is taking into account current circumstances. So unless there's a drastic change in the situation in Japan, it should not be delayed any further. That's basically the big points from it. There's a few more back and forth going on, but that's the main meat of it. So it doesn't sound like, if I had to put money on it, I'd say there's not going to be a Switch one, but at least it won't get delayed any longer, and got a good idea how long it's going to take you to get through this one. Let's just go ahead and take a quick break. I've got a few more fun stories to talk about on the other side. We'll be right back here on episode 111 of the JRPG Report. All right, everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in this week and every week to your weekly JRPG news fix. Of course, we do the news one on Wednesdays. Then we do our Sunday special each Sunday morning, different every time. I don't know what I'm going to do this Sunday. I kind of, I have a few ideas in my brain, but haven't really decided on anything just yet, so I don't have anything to preview and have you kind of look forward to it. But in the meantime, if you don't care, if you haven't already, give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and I would greatly appreciate subscribing and giving us some likes and comments on our YouTube page. I'm really trying to get that going now, in addition to growing the podcast, and I could use your support over there. I don't particularly care if you click the bell and get notifications and all that stuff. But at this point, just giving us a subscribe over there would be the most beneficial thing as we're trying to get this thing really rolling along. I really enjoy making those videos for you guys to check out. I'm trying to do something actually every day over there. So if something pops up, breaking news, obviously it's a way that you can see the videos that we are talking about in addition to our video podcast that we put out twice a week as well. Some good news that we got a release date for the PlayStation 4 version of Ys Memories of Celceta. I believe that's how you say it. And it will launch June 9th in North America and June 19th for our European friends. Publisher Xseed Games over here and Marvelous Europe over there announced. In North America, it'll be available in a physical, quote, timeless adventure edition, unquote, for $39.99 at select retailers. This will include a soundtrack CD that was part of the Ys 25th anniversary pack in Japan. And you'll also get 12 4x6 art cards highlighting various heroines from the Ys lore and games. You can go ahead and pre-order that now. Now, over in Europe, it will be available as a physical edition from select retailers for, I believe that's $24.99 in pounds, euros at $29.99. And if you click on the Facebook page and see the link for this story, I've got the link for these select retailers that can be available for pre-order in both North America and Europe. You can, of course, get it digitally as well from the PlayStation Store. It will only be $29.99 for the regular edition, or $39.99 for the deluxe digital edition. With that, you'll get the digital version of that soundtrack CD and a never-before-released deluxe theme, including artwork and music from the game. Here's about the PlayStation 4 version. It is a remaster of Ys Memories of Celceta that will support 60 frames per second with full HD visuals and optimized gamepad controls. Following the recent addition of the original Japanese voices to the Windows PC version of the title, this will launch on PS4 with support for English and Japanese voice options. As a legendary adventurer, Hedal Christian explored the expansive land of Celceta, one of the largest locals in the Ys series, with the help of a robust mapping system to assist players in their travels through the wilderness. Classic Ys action combat, including the multi-character party system, has never looked better on consoles. So I was looking back at the timeline. I believe this one originally came out in 2012 for the Vita, and it came out in between 6 and 7 or 7 and 8. I think it's 6 and 7. I think it came out in between those. It was not one of the numbered ones. But, it was out in that time period. Of course, there was new trailers to go along with that. You can check out theirs via the story or mine over on YouTube, whatever your fancy would be. So we did have a small delay because of coronavirus, I'm assuming. And this was for Little Town Hero. It's PlayStation 4 version. It was supposed to come out in early June. It is now going to be June 23rd in North America, June 26th in Europe, and July 3rd in the Oceania countries. This will include this is the first time the physical edition has been available for Switch as well as PlayStation 4. It will add an easy mode that lowers the attack and defenses of the enemy Razets and causes special effects from enemies to show up less often. So if you've been waiting around on that one, you're going to wait just a little bit longer, as it's been delayed at least a few weeks. An interesting looking game got a new gameplay trailer, and That is the upcoming strategy RPG Tears of Avia. This is being published by P-Cube and developer Cuckoo Squeaky. It's about a minute long, and it shows glimpses of the battles, the characters, and the skill tree system found in the game. It's headed to Xbox One and PC sometime later this year. Tears of Avia is set in the world of Estria and allows players to pick a party of 5 heroes who engage in turn-based tactical battles. The story follows the heroes as they search for the lost city of Avalon. I've got the link for that on Facebook. I'll probably make a short little video for this as well and put it up on YouTube for you guys. An interesting story, as it appears that a listing for Yakuza Like a Dragon has appeared on Steam DB. This tracks updates to games and applications in the Steam backend. A Steam store link was provided, but is not yet live. If true, this would be the first confirmation of a PC release, and I can't see why they would go to that much trouble if it wasn't something that was eventually coming. It is already out for PlayStation 4 in Japan and Asia, has been slated for a Western release sometime in 2020, so it appears that when that does happen, it may be headed to Steam as well as PS4 whenever that does happen in the future. Normally we can't talk much about this game, but we did get some new information and screenshots for the Legends of Heroes Hajimari No Keseki, the latest entry in the Trail series. It introduced the Variant Rage system, as well as the Japanese limited edition and first print bonus. So I think we had some snippets here and there about this system. This is completely new, so I'm not 100% sure what it all means, but let me just read to you what they say. This Variant Rage system introduces new attack/recovery techniques linked to the tactical link system that first appeared in Cold Steel. Variant Rage is a variant tactical link command that can be activated when there are 5 or more members in the party. The conditions by activating Variant Rage is to have 5 or more members in the party. By extending the assault gauge, you can activate one of the following commands: Variant Attack, Variant Heal, or Variant Arts. Since standby party members also participate in Variant Rage, the damage dealt/amount healed is not only significantly higher level, but also increases based on the number of party members. Up to 10 party members can participate. So it sounds like normally when you're playing through any section of the past games, you were limited with your main party and then 4, and then would have 3 support characters. It sounds like that number has been upped to 10, and then all those members are able to join in on this kind of gang attack or heal or art attack. So that is pretty cool. For commands that consume Brave points, Variant Rage comes with the added effect of BP recovery. B commands include Rush, where 2 battle members perform a ranged attack; Burst, where 4 members perform an all-out attack; Brave Order, which brings out various effects to the entire battlefield; and more. Attack enemies with Brave Orders and Rushes early on in battle, then activate Variant Range where you're running low on BP. Through the effective use of Variant Range, such as to recover BP while dealing damage further to the enemy, you'll be able to gain the upper hand even against tougher enemies. So this is like I said, a new system that they're trying out. It seems like each one has kind of evolved a little bit. So this is the next step along the way. Very excited for this game. Obviously, in the West, we are years away probably from getting this one. But when it does come out, I absolutely need to have this Platinum Master Box. In Japan, it's going for 10,800 yen. And it kind of looks like a long, I guess you call it like a gun briefcase or something. Very, very cool looking. It includes a number of wonderful items, such as a 2-disc vocal album, only obtainable through this limited edition, a calendar with unreleased illustrations, and more, packaged in a special case themed after Lapis Rosenberg's suitcase. This is a suitcase that she carries in the game. And of course, it has been, in the game, it looks like it has a large cross with a diamond laying over top of it. And then for consumers, it has the Hajimari No Keseki logo on it instead. In this, you get a full copy of the game. This 2-disc CD Keseki 15th Anniversary Vocal Collection includes full-length songs from previous titles, from Trails in the Sky to Cold Steel, as well as the theme song, yes, from those two. So it looks like it's got to have Sky, Cold Steel, and maybe even some of the Crossbell stuff tracks on there as well. You get the Memorial Desktop Calendar, Zumerian Heroes 2020 through 2021, a desktop calendar featuring Trail Series illustrations with a special silver crack finish. Very nice. Since the calendar and illustrations are separated, it can also be displayed as an interior decoration. There's an image going along with that, and you can kind of piece them all together to make one big. And then there's a set of 24 vivid, semi-transparent posters focused on the main characters, including the main protagonists, Rain, Lloyd, and C. The first print purchase bonus is a mini limited edition CD. Includes a curated section of unique music from the game, including the battle and event music. Lots of cool stuff going on in this one. Hopefully, we don't learn too much more about it, because it's always filled with massive spoilers, and not only the Cold Steel series, but if you've not played the previous ones, because it includes all characters plus new ones, there's always something. You gotta tread lightly when you're talking about this new game. We're going to have to for a while, since we're not getting Cold Steel until the fall. Did have an interesting little tidbit from one of our listeners, and he shared the Amazon UK listing. Actually had the game listed at October 16th, and when I looked it up on our Amazon, it still had kind of that place marker holder of October 31st. So I doubt that is the release date for it. But having it at the 16th is a little suspect. So maybe we'll hear something here fairly soon, nailing down a more definitive release date. I can only hope so. They're not developing the game. They're simply translating it. So maybe sooner rather than later. Cold Steel in October does go along well together. And we'll see if that ends up happening with Cold Steel 4 or not. And as soon as I know, you will know. Last thing we want to talk about, we did have a Trials of Mana review from our friends over at RP Gamer. This is from Jervon Perkins. And he says she says it's an old school adventure given a modern coat of paint. Saturated in variant colors and old school video game charm, Trials of Mana deserves more praise and attention than it will likely gain. The 16-bit remake shows that Square Enix knows how to transform a 2D game into a modern 3D RPG. With each area painstakingly recreated, the game feels like a love letter to fans of the classic JRPG narrative. It injects a few modern tweaks here and there, but boldly sticks to its roots. This boldness will ultimately be one of the reasons why the game is so enjoyable. I won't read you the full review for it. Here's the summary. Trials of Mana is a colorful, quirky, familiar, and a lot of fun. It's a blueprint on how older RPGs can be remade in a way that keeps the charm and working parts of the original, but upgrades it so that it is graphically appealing to a modern audience. The game is unapologetically retro in its story and progression. This works at its best quality and greatest detriment. The hand-holding for the first 8 or so hours of the game makes for a less interesting experience, especially considering that it makes up for roughly a third of the entire game. However, even with that early dip in excitement, Trials of Mana is a thoroughly worthwhile game. And she gave it a 4 out of 5, so that's pretty good. The battle system got a full 5 out of 5. Visuals, a 4 out of 5. Everything else was 3 out of 5. Interaction, originality, story, music, and sound. Originality probably should get a 1 since it was completely unoriginal as a remake. They say she said it was about 20 to 40 hours, somewhere in that range that it'll take you to beat it. A moderate difficulty level. Love the engaging combat system, colorful character models, 6 interesting leading protagonists to choose from. I'd say 5 because Charlotte is unpickable. Saturated, reimagined 16-bit environments. She did not care for the repetitive music choices in certain areas, lack of world building, and too much hand-holding at the beginning of the game. Can certainly understand that. There's a lot of JRPGs that are guilty of this early on in the game for the opening, hour or two. 8 hours seems a bit long. I didn't notice that in the demo per se, so maybe it's a little more apparent in the full version of it. But, that's quality marks. 4 out of 5, you can't really go against that, especially that this was a remake of an old game. It sounds like, and from what I experienced, they did everything right in doing so. I made a choice last year that for new games coming out, if I wasn't going to play it right away, I wasn't going to get it. And in light of the fact that our family is, we're kind of living on one income right now, until my wife can get back into the workforce when hopefully things calm down soon. It seems pretty crazy for me to go out and buy a bunch of games that we can't afford. Anyway, I feel like it's the right move. My backlog is full enough as it is. And when I am complete with Royal, I'm moving on to Xenoblade Chronicles. And past that point, I feel like for me personally, it's a good strategy to have. Obviously, when you come across games on sale that are older anyway that you're going to add to your backlog, I think that's a little different. But that pressure that we feel as consumers and gamers to get every new game when it comes out, it's not fair to our wallets. It's not fair to, perhaps significant others that, this is a hobby. You'd probably get upset if they were just buying things and putting them on a shelf and not utilizing them. So that's the way I look at it. It's given me some peace in terms of picking one thing and sticking with it and completing it to completion. We've also been kind of bombarded here lately. And, just in these past couple months between Royal Remake, Trials of Mana, we've got, like I said, Xenoblade coming up here soon. About every month's been something really big that we really wanted, and we don't always get that as JRPG players. There's plenty of times that you go a few months without anything coming out that deserves your money. So I'd love to know how you guys are dealing with those type of things. Give us a like and a comment over on Facebook, or if you want to reply to this video about what you're doing in terms of managing your budgets at this crazy time. That's it for episode 111. I told you it'd be a short one, just not a whole ton of things to talk about. That's the way it goes sometimes. Check us out on Sunday. We'll have a Sunday special for you. Something. Not sure what, but it'll be fun and unique no matter what. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would give us some listener support, the link is at the bottom. I would truly appreciate it. Keep this thing going each and every week. My name is James Fisher, signing off with JRPG Report. But don't forget, get back out there and level up.